Oh, hello! Welcome back to my Chanel, and today we're going to be answering the question, does Shein clothing actually last? So for today's video, we're going to be looking at clothing that I bought myself with my own money, no sponsorships here, from Shein 2 years ago back in 2020. And I'm going to show you how everything looks, how everything has worn, if there's any issues with anything, to hopefully answer the question, does Shein clothing last? So if you've clicked on this video, chances are you already know what Shein is, but if you don't, Shein is a clothing company which has a lot of really cheap, trendy clothes. So I have dug out all of the items that I got from my first ever Shein haul on this channel. I'll link it up in the cards if you'd like to watch it. And again, this video is not sponsored. All of the items I'm going to be showing in this video have been worn multiple times, have been washed multiple times, so without further ado, let's dive in. So first up, we have this really cute black and white star skirt. I bought this in my first ever Shein haul, and I just thought it was so adorable. I've worn it multiple times. As you can see, looks pretty good. This is pretty see-through, but that was apparent from the first time that I got it. And so far as I can see, there are no fraying hems, there's no rips, no tears. And overall, I want to say it looks exactly the same as when I first bought it. Aha, wait. There's a thread poking up here, but that's about it. For something as thin as this, I would have expected this to rip or shred in some way, but it's pretty durable. So I would say this has survived in almost perfect condition, honestly. I've worn this in lookbooks, out to dates, night on the town. So this one for sure has withstood the test of time. One thing I did want to mention, which I may do differently from other people when it comes to taking care of my clothes, I wear my pieces, I want to say between 5 to 10 times if I can, just so I can get the most out of them before they go in the wash. And then when I do wash them, I always use cold water. It's on a gentle cycle. And instead of putting them into the dryer until they're completely dry and there's no water left, I usually dry them for a little bit on a gentle cycle and then I air dry them. And that's just something I do for all of my clothes in general, especially the more delicate ones, just to make sure that I have more longevity out of my clothes. Because I know that just drying the heck out of them in the dryer can shorten their lifespan. So that's the only thing that I may do differently than anyone else when it comes to my clothes. I hang them up to dry. So this skirt is looking good, and I'll put up a clip so you guys can see what it looks like on as well. But aside from a few little threads that are poking out here and there, this skirt looks great. Next up is this gorgeous pink silk top, which I absolutely love. I've worn this so many times. It is stunning. This is a really nice silky satin finish, and as you can see, the elastics held up pretty well, and oh, it smells good. And I usually store this in a drawer, but as you can see, the elasticity has not gotten any worse. It looks great. There is a stain on the end here, but I think that's my fault. Whoops. But one thing I've noticed in cheap elastic, or even just regular elastic that I've gotten from Kohl's or other stores, Forever 21, over the years it tends to lose its elasticity and have this really weird crackling sound. As you can hear, no crackling here. But this top looks every bit as good as it did the day I got it. Or is that a thread? No, that's not a thread, but all the stitching is great. Again, I've worn this and washed it multiple times. And aside from that stain, which I have no idea what it is, it looks great. And aside from some light damage on the back of it, it just looks like I snagged some of the material on something on the back of it. It looks great. It's in near perfect condition. Oh, I love this top too. All right, so this one I see has some thread coming out there from the top of the bust. There's also a few threads down here that are coming undone. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I love this top. I should have sized down in it because it's a little big on me because I have a small chest, but all of the elastic looks great. There's no crinkling. The lace is still beautiful. There's no snags or catches in this whatsoever. And let's see if the zipper still works. When a problem comes along, you must zip it. Zip it good. And it works. Aha. So the only thing on this top is that there is some loose threads coming up here, but that's it for this top. The boning is still great, the cups still feel nice, and the lace looks beautiful. Something did break, but I got that more recently than 2 years ago. I had a pair of boots from Shein, and the zipper pulled off completely, like the metal zipper pull on the boot pulled off. So now whenever I try to zip it, I have to manually grip. Like, actually, let me just show you. Hold on. So I forget which Shein haul these are from. I love these boots. I wear them so much. So let's see. This is what the zipper pull is supposed to look like. Has a nice little pull on it, as you can see. So you can easily pull the zipper up and down. And this one it is completely gone. There's nothing there to pull the zipper up with, so I kind of have to grab this whole thing from the bottom and kind of try to push it up, which is not very successful, as you can see. So you have to kind of gently push it up. But yeah, this is just completely broken, and I'd have to super glue it back on. Hopefully I still have it somewhere, but there's no ring or loop on the zipper pull itself anymore. It's just completely flat because it broke off. So normally I just wear this with the zipper open, but it's a shame because I really love these boots. They're one of my favorite pairs. I love all the chains and the studs, and they're super lightweight. And I'm pretty sure I got this at least a year ago. It's very dirty. Next up is something I have worn so much. It is a faux snakeskin top and bottom set. Oh my gosh, this fabric is just everything. I love it so much. And as you can see, looks pretty good. We got nice non-crunchy elastic. We have no snagging or pilling or holes in anywhere on the skirt that I can see. And I've worn this thing to death. I've worn this so much. And I'm kind of surprised too, because the material is a bit on the thinner side, that there's no rips or anything in this. It looks just as good as the day I bought it. And for the top, I remember that the chains broke on this because they are cheaply made. I think what happened was there's little jump rings between the lobster claw and the crystal strap here. It opened, so I had to go, of course, put this back on with a pair of pliers and close it up again. But I believe that was the only thing that really broke for this piece. And the top itself, stretchy, looks great, no holes or rips, and it's perfect. Now this next one honestly shocked me because this thing is 2 years old and it's still going strong. This is a beauty blender type sponge with a little spring holder, which is fantastic. I love this because it lets it air dry. 2 years. This thing is still going strong. I am shocked by that because I would have expected this to die within the first year. And yeah, I've used other sponges as well. I've washed it, I've taken care of it. And if you look closely, you can see there is some ripping in the sponge, especially towards the tip. But this thing is durable, and it was $2, which is insane. So I was very impressed with this thing. And I love the holder. I use it for all of my beauty sponges, and they're black. So of course, love that for my whole aesthetic. So this was the one I was most surprised by how well it's doing. Next up is an underbust bustier corset belt type thing. I have so many of these. I love them. And this is on the cheaper side. It has like no stretch to it whatsoever, but honestly, it looks good. Again, the only thing is here I'm seeing some thread poking out from part of the underbust portion, but the plastic boning still looks great, feels good. Yeah, the only thing I'm noticing is some loose threads. Oop, I just pulled it off. Good. So yeah, just a few loose threads, and then this has hook and eye closures, and that's all well and good. Nice and sturdy. You could pull on it and it's not going to break. It's very securely stitched on the inside here. So yeah, another piece that seems just fine and dandy. One of my favorite things I've ever gotten from Shein. This is a gorgeous glittery mesh bodysuit, and this closes around the neck with a little button here. I'm noticing a lot of loose threads here. That's the only thing I can say for this, is that there's a lot of just like random threads poking out here. But this is, again, one of my favorite things. I love the sleeves on this thing. The whole thing is very elastic, as you can clearly see. And the button has never ripped off. I think that's the most delicate thing on here, is the loop and the button itself. How's the thread hanging on in here? It looks pretty good. It has a nice secure double knot at the end, so the button isn't really going anywhere. And the loop is pretty securely fastened too, so that seems in order. And then we have these amazing sleeves, and the ends are just raw hems. There's no stitching on the end, so if anything were to happen, I feel like it would be there. And again, very stretchy. And then at the bottom we have the clasps. Again, one big piece of thread just kind of sticking out here, but aside from that, it looks great. I love this thing. I've worn it way too much. And then this beautiful little crop top bandeau thingy here. I love this thing. It's so much fun. Stretch is great. There's some loose threads just poking around here, but it seems like that's firmly attached, so all you need to do is just clip those off, but I won't do that till after, so you can see what I'm talking about. Nothing stretched or falling apart in the ties that I can see. Nothing wrong with this one. and I've used this as a hat and as a top. So this one has also stood the test of time. This next one is a beautiful purple mesh duster. Oh my gosh, there's so much fabric here. Now I don't know if this one has an issue, but I know I got the same thing in black, and that one did have a hole in it, which I was very sad about. So this one doesn't have a hole in it. I did get a black one that's exactly like this, and that one had a hole right here in the right arm, like right in the armpit area. So I did just have to sew that up to make sure it didn't rip anymore, but it kind of ripped apart at the seams, like there was too much pressure put on it and it just went there was a hole in my armpit, it's letting all the stink out. But this purple one hasn't given me any issues whatsoever. And then last but not least, this beautiful lavender dress. This is how I store it in my closet. So let's take a look at this bad boy. We have some threads poking out here and there. No crinkly elastic anywhere. The mesh isn't very stretchy, but there's no holes in it, which is great. No holes in the dress itself. Looks like the inside looks pretty good. Now I know what you're thinking. She just picked out the only ones that didn't have any wear and tear. No, I honestly didn't have any issues with any clothing except for that black duster with the armpit hole. So that is it for my recap on do Shein clothes actually last? And for me at least, they do. I've had no issues with the clothes or accessories that I've gotten. Nothing's broken except for this poor zipper pull and the one armpit hole in that black mesh duster. I've heard so many stories of people saying that things they bought from Shein fall apart after the first wash, and part of me is wondering what they're washing it with. Because I've gotten so many clothes from Shein over the years. You can look at my Shein hauls to see for yourself. And maybe some people have harder water than others, maybe their washing machine's on a certain setting, or the dryer is to blame, but I've never had anything from Shein fall apart on me. Anything. So let me know down below if there's anything that you've gotten from Shein that has broken, and if customer service has done anything to help. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!